Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nayatra kalo Nayatra kalo animisham paraha prabhu.
Nayatra kalo animisham paraha prabhu.
Kuto nu deva jagatam jai shire.
Kuto nu deva jagatam ya ishire.
Nayatra sattvam narajas tamascha.
Nayatra sattvam narajas tamascha.
Navai vikaro namahan pradhanam.
Navai vikaro namahan pradhanam.
Not.
Yatra.
Wherein.
Wherein.
Kalaha.
Kalaha.
Destructive time.
Animisham.
Of the heavenly demigods.
Paraha.
Superior.
Prabhu.
Controller.
Controller.
Kutaha. What is there?
Where is that?
Nu. Certainly.
Devaha.
The demigods.
The demigods.
Jagatam.
Jagatam.
The mundane creatures. Yeah. Those. Ishire. Rules. Not. Yatra. Therein. Sattvam. Mundane goodness. Nor. Rajaha. Mundane passion. Tamaha. Mundane ignorance. Cha. Also. Nor. Vai. Certainly. Vikaraha. Transformation. Nor. Mahan. The material causal ocean. Pradhanam. Material nature. Translation. In that transcendental state of labdha pachanti, there is no supremacy of devastating time which controls even the celestial demigods who are empowered to rule over mundane creatures, and what to speak of any supremacy of the demigods themselves. Nor is there the mode of material goodness, passion or ignorance, nor even the false ego, material causal ocean or material nature. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Devastating time which controls even the celestial demigods by its manifestations of past, present and future does not act on the transcendental plane. The influence of time is exhibited by the symptoms of birth, death, old age and disease, and these four principles of material conditions are present everywhere in any part of the material cosmos up to the planet Brahmaloka, where the duration of life of the inhabitants appears to us to be fabulous. Insurmountable time even brings about the death of Brahma. So what to speak of other demigods like Indra, Chandra, Surya, Vayu and Varuna? The astronomical influence directed by the different demigods over mundane creatures is also conspicuous by its absence. In material existence, the living entities are afraid of satanic influence. But for a devotee on the transcendental plane, there is no such fear at all. The living entities change their material bodies in different shapes and forms under the influence of the different modes of material nature. But in the transcendental state, the devotee is gunatita, or above the material modes of goodness, passion and ignorance. Thus the false ego of I am the Lord of all I survey does not arise there. In the material world, the false ego of the living being trying to lord it over the material nature is something like the moths falling into a blazing fire. The moth is captivated by the glaring beauty of the fire, and when he comes to enjoy it, the blazing fire consumes him. In the transcendental state, the living being is pure in his consciousness, and as such, he has no false ego to lord it over the material nature. Rather, his pure consciousness directs him to surrender unto the Supreme Lord, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. All this indicates that in the transcendental state, there is neither material creation nor the causal ocean for material nature. The above mentioned state of affairs is factual on the transcendental plane, but is factually revealed in a transcendentalist knowledge of the advanced state of pure consciousness. Such transcendentalists are of two types, namely the impersonalists and the devotees. For the impersonalist, the ultimate goal or destination is the Brahmajyoti of the spiritual sky, But for the devotees, the ultimate goal is the Vaikuntha planets. The devotees experience the above-mentioned state of affairs by attainment of spiritual forms for activity in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. But the impersonalist, because of his neglecting the association of the Lord, does not develop a spiritual body for spiritual activity, but remains a spiritual spark only, merged in the effulgent spiritual rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is a full-fledged form of eternity, bliss and knowledge, but the formless Brahmajyoti is simply eternity and knowledge. The Vaikuntha planets are also forms of eternity, bliss and knowledge, and therefore the devotees of the Lord who are admitted into the abode of the Lord also get bodies of eternity, bliss and knowledge. As such, there is no difference between one and another. The Lord's abode, name, fame, entourage, etc. are of the same transcendental quality, and how this transcendental quality differs from the material world is explained herewith in this verse. In the Bhagavad Gita, 3 principal subjects have been explained by Lord Shri Krishna, namely Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. But one can reach the Vaikuntha planets by the practice of Bhakti Yoga only. The other two are incompetent in helping one reach the Vaikuntha Lokas, although they can, however, conveniently take one to the effulgent Brahma Jyoti as described above. Om Agyan Tirinandasya Gyanajana Shalakayam Chakshunan Miritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master is divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, has opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto his lotus feet. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So, this is the description of a purified state of consciousness. It is not some imagination or speculation. This purified state of Krishna consciousness or Labdha Pashanti is described in the Shastra, in the scriptures. So it is not a vague practice. Spiritual life is not a vague, abstract activity. Nowadays, people, they're confused. So many so-called spiritual masters are coming and speaking in jugglery of words, describing some abstract state. You merge with everything, with the supreme love. You become love yourself. And things like that. So, this is very easy to cheat. If the description is vague, abstract, all-encompassing, then it is very easy to cheat. Just like if someone asks you that, what is your occupation? What can you do? What is your propensity? I can do everything. I can do everything. If you give such vague description, that will not help you. Nobody knows what you actually, what is your skill. Nobody can tell. Everything you cannot know. That is impossible. Similarly, God you cannot become. That is nonsense. You are eternally part and parcel of God. And you have a function in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, it must be concrete. Spiritual life is concrete. It is not a vague function. It is concrete. So, there are 5 different rasas with Krishna, and every single person, all of us, we have a specific relationship with Krishna. And in that specific relationship, we do not experience any inebriety that is so much making our life miserable in this material world. Here it is mentioned that devastating time, the time is devastating us. The time, Kala, is also one of the forms of Krishna. For those who do not take Krishna consciousness seriously, Krishna comes as cruel death. Kala, or black snake, devours everything. That is also Krishna. Krishna, don't think Krishna is limited or stereotyped. For those who surrender to Him voluntarily, there is the lotus flower. There is the lotus flower and
Sorry? Oh, the conch.
the concho, very auspicious. And for those who do not surrender, then there is the club. You get clubbed on the head. And Shishupala has a good experience of this weapon. Sudarshan Chakra. Chakra chopping heads. You see? So Vishnu is holding his four hands, 4 arms, and he's holding these different items. Yatamam prapadyante. He awards accordingly, according to your surrender. If you are Duskatina, if you're Mudha, if you're Maya Aparita Jnana, if you're an Asura, then the disc and club is there for you. And if you become a devotee and you engage in service, then there's a conch shell. Yes, Krishna is blowing conch shell auspiciously. Conch shell, just like he blew at the beginning of the battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna and Krishna, they blew their respective conch shells. Manu Pushpaka and, you know the names?
I'm sorry, no.
Yeah, you can check later. So that sound of a conch shell brings joy to the devotees. Brings joy, an auspicious sound, just like when there is aratik going on, right? The pujari blows the conch shell. It brings joy to the devotees. Oh, now we will see Krishna. But for the demons, that is the end of times. That is a very miserable moment. Oh, Krishna needs to be worshipped. Oh, very bad. And it is mentioned that the sound of a conch shell, when Krishna blew at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, it shattered the hearts of the soldiers on the opposite side, the Kurus. There are 2 armies, Kurus and Pandavas. So the Kuru soldiers, their hearts were shattered by such a sound. You see? So, for the devotee, similarly, this time does not act on the devotee. That is foolishness to think, oh, time is acting on the devotee. Oh, the devotee is getting old. Just like some foolish people, they say, oh, your spiritual master, Bhaktivedanta Swami, he was an old man. Which old man can write 80 volumes of literature at the age of 70? Circle the globe 14 times. I have not done. I'm a young man, relatively young. I have not done such a task. 14 times, circled around the whole planet, preaching, sleeping for 3 hours, even that pretending, just so the non-devotees get bewildered. So we can see, practically, we have a great experience great mercy that we were able to see the activities of such a pure devotee, greatest devotee, Srila Prabhupada. Some of us in our lifetime, some of us through memories of others, and nowadays there's modern technology by Krishna's mercy. Srila Prabhupada's pastimes have been recorded on this modern media. Now everyone can get a glimpse. The previous acharyas, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Gora Kishoras Babaji, even Jagannathas Babaji, they were captured in the form of a photograph. That is also great mercy. Imagine you have a photograph of Jesus Christ. That would be very auspicious. You could have a photograph. They do not have. But there are photographs of these great acharyas available. That's why we put them on the altar. They're worshipable. They're not different from the acharyas themselves. In the spiritual world, because there's no time, there's no separation. See? Time separates us. Time separates the elements. The material elements are separated by time. The body. The body acted upon by time divides. If I die, when I die, the body will be deteriorated. And all the elements will be dispersed into the material energy, mixed up. So time doesn't act, doesn't separate the body and the soul of a pure devotee. Actually, a pure devotee doesn't have a soul like that. He is the soul. His body is the soul. There is no difference. Similarly, his instructions are eternal. They also do not become subjected to material time. Sometimes we have a foolish conception, and now times are different. So we have to change. The changing philosophy. We have to change everything. Because if I change, then I can get some credit. That is the philosophy behind the changing propensity. I change it, so then I can get some credit. I have done something. We're transforming the material energy and claiming credit. Actually, everything is supplied by Krishna. You cannot manufacture grain or water or air. None of these elements. Fire, you cannot manufacture. You're just transforming. The fire is already present in the wood. It is there, the potential. It simply becomes manifest in connection with other fiery elements. The fire that is stored within the wood becomes manifest. But you cannot manufacture fire. Similarly, you cannot manufacture life. See, neither matter you can manufacture, neither life you can manufacture. These are Krishna's energies. He says, earth, water, fire, air, ether, this is my inferior energy. And then superior to that is my superior spiritual energy, the living entities. Because of these living entities, this material world is running, is going on. So, we should become very seriously engaged in the elevation to this position of transcendental position, labdha pashanti. So we don't become subjected by the material time. Engage in Krishna consciousness service, absorb your mind in Krishna, absorb your mind in the holy name. Chanting the holy name is very essential. And you can reach this state of consciousness. It is not that it is manufactured or some imagination. Yes, you can come to this state of consciousness. On a Brahmabhuta platform also, Naso chati nakangshati, you do not experience any material happiness or material distress. And you see all living entities equally. Brahma Bhuta Prasana Naso Chatina Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu. Bhuteshu, living entities. Bhuta. So you see equality because you understand, I am not this body. He is not the body. They are not the body. Body is subjected to time, but not the soul. So you have eternal vision. And in this way, if we come to this platform, Prabhupada says here that we will not be afraid of satanic influence. Satanic influence. What is that satanic influence? Maya. Maya. Maya is actually a servant of Krishna. It is not that there's anything separate from Krishna. These are all energies of Krishna functioning for a specific purpose. The purpose of Maya is to chastise the living entity so it comes to its senses. You see, it is a punishment. It is a punishment. Because the living entity is in a feverish condition. He wants to be God. He wants to be the enjoyer. He wants to be the proprietor. Oh, it is mine. False possession. So all false possession, because as I said, you cannot manufacture anything material. So you're trying to possess, oh, it is mine. Why should I give to the devotees? It is mine. I have worked very hard. I deserve. No, it is not yours. Your working is simply a misuse of energy given by Krishna. It's a misuse because we're working for sense gratification, for impermanent results. So that is a misuse. That energy should be used for Krishna's service. See, you have working and you have serving. Working is impersonal. Serving is personal. Just like people say, sometimes the police, right, when they come to beat the devotees, they say, I have to do my work. I'm sorry, I have to beat you for chanting Hare Krishna. Because that's my job. I'm simply have to follow the instruction of my superior. Right? Working is very impersonal. But when you serve, and it is very personal. Service must be rendered with love and devotion. Because we're serving a person. We're concerned that the person we're serving is satisfied. The devotees are not satisfied when the police is beating them for chanting Hare Krishna. They're not satisfied. They're disturbed. Maybe the police boss is satisfied. But the workers, ordinarily, they are not concerned whether the boss is satisfied. They're concerned whether they're satisfied by getting a nice salary from the boss. You see? In this way, there is no service. In the material world, there is no service. Simply working. So that is called karma. This impersonal work is called karma. And service is called bhakti. Bhakti. Srila Prabhupada defines bhakti as devotional service. Sometimes they use the word bhakti in connection with love. They think bhakti means love. Any damn love. You have some bhakti for your nation or for your girlfriend. You have lots of bhakti for your girlfriend. That is not the correct use of the word bhakti. Bhakti refers only when we engage in service to Krishna. Not in any other way. Strictly speaking, bhakti or love for your girlfriend, society, or anyone else except Krishna is not bhakti. It is kama, it is lust. It's not. Love means pure love. If I say I love you, but not really, only 80%, 20% I love someone else, is that love? That denies the whole definition of love. So love must be unalloyed service, unalloyed love, unconditional, pure. You see, so it is not possible to reach Krishna with adulterated bhakti. There are two adulterations. The karma yoga, those who are working karmically implicated, if they give result to Krishna, it is called karma yoga. Or if they give up the results for the higher cause, it is called karma yoga. And then there's jnana yoga. Jnana yoga means frustration. I understand that this karma, this working is simply frustration. This, whatever pleasure I'm getting from this karmic activity is simply temporary. Even if I worship demigods, Krishna says, if you worship demigods, the fruits you get from such worship is temporary. You cannot satisfy the soul. So, those who understand this, they're called jnanis. But that is also not perfection. That is simply frustration. Frustration doesn't mean positive description. Frustration means negation. So it is very bitter. This process of jnana yoga is very bitter. Simply criticizing. This is not God, this is not God, this is Maya, this is Maya. Like that. So we have to get rid of that also. It's just another form of attachment. I wanted to enjoy, but I could not because of some circumstance. Now I renounce. Jackal. Jackal in the orchard. Jackal goes and he's trying to reach the grapes. He's climbing or jumping. But he cannot reach. So he concludes, the grapes are sour anyway. The grapes are very nice and sweet, but you damn rascal, you are incapable of reaching them. That is the difficulty. So, these spiritual planets can only be reached by pure devotion. Pure devotion, pure bhakti, bhakti yoga. Not in any other way. Not contaminated by any tinge of karmic or jnanic influence. And a devotee who situates himself on such a platform, even in this life, he's experiencing transcendental pleasure, transcendental ecstasy. Confidence. He's not afraid of being dragged by the satanic influence, by Maya. This is the sure way of how to avoid descending to the animal forms, hellish forms. Just like they say that the best form of defense is attack. Right? So if you want to defend yourself against the transmigration into lower species, then you must attack. You must attack your dirty things in the heart. Dirty things you must attack by Harinam Sankirtan. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan, Lord Chaitanya says. Glory, victory to the Sankirtan movement that spreads the benediction moon. Just like the moon is spreading the shine, nourishing the vegetables, nourishing the world, the planet, pleasing moonshine, and pacifies the mind also. Similarly, this Krishna Sankirtan movement, Lord Chaitanya is the head, the father of this Sankirtan movement. It spreads the benediction, spreads the peace and prosperity of the world. So one must take part in this movement. You cannot be aloof from this movement and claim to be a devotee of Krishna. Those who are devotees of Krishna, they must accept Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself in disguise. That is foretold by Garga Muni in the 10th canto. It is mentioned. When Krishna appears, Garga Muni is called and he makes a prediction and he says, yes, this personality, he takes birth. He already took birth before as a white incarnation, red incarnation, and now blackish, and in the future, Akrishna incarnation means non-blackish, yellow. Lord Chaitanya comes in golden effulgence. It is mentioned like that. Golden effulgence of Srimati Radharani. It is Krishna, but with the effulgence or the skin color of gold. The complexion of Srimati Radharani. It's a combined form of Srimati Radharani and Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Lord Chaitanya. And he's starting this Sankirtan movement. What is the benediction of Sankirtan movement? Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Everyone is a Duskatina. Everyone is a Naradama in Kali Yuga. Manna Sumanna Matayo. Very unfortunate. Bhagya. Very unfortunate. Very crazy. No taste for spiritual cultivation. But people say, I'm not into religion. Religion is nonsense. Why should I? This is nonsense for fools. Develop good qualities, tolerance, peacefulness, doing good to others, good deeds. This is for foolish people. Let me become a dog. Dog eat dog. Rat. Rat society. Rats. No, that is first class. Tiger. Let me compete with the others like an animal. Unfortunately, this is our material civilization is directed in that way. So, never mind, chant Hare Krishna. Lord Chaitanya says, never mind, you are fool number one, chant Hare Krishna. Just like Lord Nityananda said. When Jagai and Madai, the two low-class descendants of the Brahminical order, they attacked Lord Nityananda. They threw a piece of earthen pot at Lord Nityananda's head until he bled. Lord Nityananda did not take offense. He said, that's okay. That's all right. You have injured me. That's fine. You made injury on my head. Fine. But kindly chant Hare Krishna. You see? He's showing the example. He's the Acharya. Not that the Acharya is sitting on a big Vyasasan and passing bad air. Not like that. You must go and face the Jagais and Madais, getting stones thrown at your head. That is Acharya. Acharya, yad yat acharati shestas. He must show the example so the other people can follow the example. So Lord Nityananda said, that's okay, you should simply chant Hare Krishna. This is our movement. A very peaceful movement. Very non-violent movement. Very liberal movement. We do not ask anyone to do anything. We simply say, chant Hare Krishna. And if you cannot, hear Hare Krishna. So even if you cannot chant, you don't want to chant. Chant, chant, chant. Can't. Simply hear. We chant for you. You simply give oral reception to the sounds. We do it for you. Don't worry. You go on sinning. That's fine. You're in a bar or a restaurant. That's okay. You stay there. If you don't want, that's okay. We do not mind if you're not joining us. Stay there. in sinful environment will go to you, will pass by with a Harinam Sankirtan party. We chant into your ear very pleasantly. You just sit down or lie down under the table, all drunk. That's okay. And we'll chant for you from the street. That's okay. See? It's so nice. Simply we want to serve you, but not like the nonsense, serving you with intoxication and maya, other maya, or boosting your ego like a life coach. We want to serve you the greatest delicacy. What is the delicacy? Krishna, in the form of His holy name. So this movement is so nice that it converts all these jagais and madais, all these sinful people, and engages them directly. This is Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Srila Prabhupada engages all these jagais and madais. Those who were just a while ago sleeping under that table, now he's a preacher. Now he has a tilak, shaven hair, chika, nice dhoti. It looks like as though he came from Vaikuntha. This is the magic of the bona fide spiritual master, as Srila Prabhupada is. He has that capacity. You see, so he's being saved from hellish condition. Otherwise, everyone is being drawn to the hellish worlds by their activities. Everyone is falling into the hellish worlds. But Srila Prabhupada is so capable that not just saving, but convincing him that you also become a spiritual master and convert others, save others. So he is being saved and simultaneously he's saving others. How wonderful. Chain reaction. This Krishna consciousness movement is a chain reaction. It's an army of spiritual masters. You see? So we have to be very careful. There's another warning in Padma Purana that those who consider devotees to belong to a particular caste, movement, society, or religious denomination, or one who thinks that the spiritual master is an ordinary man who suffers heart attacks, or one who takes the deity as a stone, or one who takes prasadam as an ordinary cooking. I'm not hungry. Don't give it to me. I'm not hungry. This is not for satisfying your hunger. This prasadam is saving you. Because if you honor this Krishna prasadam, at least your human form is guaranteed. That is why we distribute this prasadam. Not to satisfy your tongues. A pure devotee, he will take anything. Even if the prasadam is touched by the dog, the pure devotee doesn't hesitate to honor that prasadam because he understands that the prasadam is spiritual value. It is like that. Krishna's lotus lips have tasted this foodstuff. That is why it is prasadam. Not because necessarily it must taste so nicely. But since devotees are offering to Krishna, then they also cook very nicely for Krishna. They will not offer him anything nonsense. So, simultaneously it is spiritually beneficial and at the same time very delicious prasadam. So those who think like this, that the devotees belong to a certain caste, group, society or movement, those who consider the spiritual master to be an ordinary man, those who think that the deity is made of stone, idol worship, those who think that the prasadam is ordinary foodstuff, rice and dal, they possess hellish intelligence, naraka buddhi. We must note of this very carefully. How one becomes subjected to the punishment of Yamaraj by possessing a naraka buddhi, hellish intelligence. So we must avoid it. We must avoid offending the devotees, offending the spiritual master. It's very important. We should not be fanatical that simply I practice for some time, and then when my senses are not satisfied, then I offend devotees, I kick them out of the temple, I offend the spiritual master by disobeying his order on the hierarchy in the temple and so many things. Then I possess hellish intelligence, and then I become subjected by the punishment of Yamaraj. Rest assured, don't be afraid. Chant Hare Krishna. Rectify the offenses. You can very easily rectify the offenses. If you ask for forgiveness, and if you cannot do that, then glorify the spiritual master. That is how you can rectify your offenses to the spiritual master. Preach about his glories. See, we're trying to do that. That is why we have named our society Bhakti Vedanta Lives in Sound Society. Because we want to glorify our spiritual master. So we can forgive whatever offenses we have committed. Offenses you have to commit. It is almost natural. Because in the material existence we're all envious. That is why we want to enjoy separately from Krishna. That's why we want to keep separate funds. Oh, I don't want to give to Krishna. I want to keep something for myself. Krishna is not the only God. I am also co-God with Krishna. You see, so by glorifying the pure devotee, we become rectified. Slowly, slowly. That mentality is very bitter. We don't want to glorify anyone else except ourselves. But by doing it slowly, slowly, it might be official in the beginning, not without any feeling, simply obligation, out of obligation. But if I persist, if I learn, just like Maitreya Prabhu said that he wants to learn these prayers, different prayers were recommended in Nectar Devotion for the devotees to learn. Prayers from the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, right? Universal form, Arjuna is praying to Krishna very nicely. So it is advised that one can learn these prayers and recite regularly. This is how his Krishna consciousness will increase. So in this way, we can advance. So many hints are there. So if you hear from Srila Prabhupada, if you read his books, you get all the inspiration, all the advices, all the instructions you need to make this advancement to this stage of Krishna consciousness, perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. And there will be no fear of any hellish condition. Okay, so please do that. Jai.
Jai.
Any questions?
Yeah, I was just asking, wondering for you.
Yeah.
I know that the body that you get once you become liberated in this life is not your constitutional body.
Mm-hmm.
Does that body become spiritual for a sadhana siddhi?
Sadhana siddha?
Sorry, sadhana siddha. Does it become spiritual?
Yeah, it becomes spiritualized.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you put an iron rod in a fire and it becomes fiery. So similarly, because he's engaged in devotional service, the body is constantly being engaged, then it becomes spiritualized. Yeah.
Also, I was reading, but I forgot the meaning. What is Bhakti Marg?
Bhakti Marg means the path of devotion.
Ah, okay.
Marg means path. Alright. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Nitai Gaura Premanandi Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru Vani Mrichari Name Shishi Shunamari Bachata Shutari Day.
Should we do kirtan on the...
No.